What's good, y'all? It's Solution back at it with another mental gym video in which I give you guys mental exercises you can use to become extremely successful and accomplish all the goals that you are after. So let's get right into it. So today I want to talk about the mental exercise of being proactive. And the definition I came up with for being proactive in the context of achieving your goals is being aware of consequences on the path to achieving your goals. Something I've continued to realize that is extremely important is setting good expectations. And what I mean by that is basically understanding reality. And the reality is, with all decisions, with all plans, with all strategies that we make to try to achieve our goals, there's always going to be a potential for consequences. And by consequences, I mean shit going wrong. Just things going wrong, you making a mistake, shit going left, right, up, down, center. Things can always go in ways that you do not expect them to go. Why? Because you cannot control everything. There's things that operate outside of you. So you have to be aware of this fact. You have to be aware of that. And more importantly, not just be aware, accept that fact. You need to accept shit can go wrong. You need to accept the fact that you will not always get things the exact way you want them when you want them. You have to be willing to accept that. Because if you're not willing to accept that, you will move much slower towards your goals. Why? Because you will spend time complaining and being frustrated. Because more often than not, the reason why we complain or get mad on the path to achieving our goals is because we set bad expectations. We believe things will always happen the way we want them to happen. Whereas you can save yourself from a lot of this pain, complaining, and frustration by just accepting the fact that shit can go wrong, by being aware of consequences. And to give you guys kind of an example of directly what I'm talking about here, in terms of being, when I say proactive and being proactive, it means evolving with the situation. This is kind of similar to my adaptability video that I've made in the past, and I'll link it somewhere right here so you can check that out too. But adapting, in the difference between adapting and proactivity here, or in the context that I'm speaking about it in, is adapting is more situation occurs and you have to be reactive to it. So you just have to adapt to whatever's going on, right? Because you're reactive, you didn't expect it to happen. But when you are proactive, you are aware of the potential consequences already, so you just accept whatever occurs. Because most people, when they make plans or strategies, they think in ways of, or when most of you guys make plans or strategies, you think of it in ways like, okay, this good thing happens, then this good thing happens, then this good thing happens. But that's not how success works, right? Things will go bad, things will go right, things will go bad, things will go right, right? Because once again, things are outside of your control. So if you just accept the circumstances where things are going to go up and down, left, right, and center, and you're just willing to evolve with the situation as it occurs, you're going to move much faster because you're never going to start complaining or getting frustrated because you're aware and accept said consequences before you act. So you're proactive now because you're not reacting to shit going wrong. You already were aware of the fact shit can go wrong and you just move forward accordingly. But you are reactive, which is the opposite of being proactive, when you don't expect things to go wrong and then things go wrong. And then now you have to reconfigure your mind to make sure you stay on the path to doing what you need to do. And you're essentially now adapting. When you're proactive, you're more evolving with this situation. You're like, okay, new shit is probably going to happen that I'm going to have to be willing to change with. So I'm ready for it now. And I always want you guys to be in a position where you're ready. I think everybody feels much more confident when they're proactive rather than when they're reactive. When they know what the stakes are and they accept what the stakes are, you're going to be much more prepared for whatever life throws at you while you're trying to achieve your goals. Compared to just being reactive to where you're just getting punched in the face. You didn't expect that. You're like, what the fuck's going on? I have to adapt. You get punched in the face again. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be reactive like that. And I'll give you guys an example of like putting this into practice, and I'll make it very simple to understand. So let's take this Expo marker, for example. I even need a new one. So moving with that, basically think about, okay, you're like, I need to go to the store to get a new Expo marker, right? So your plan and strategy for getting the new Expo marker is going to Target. Like you're going to go drive to Target and go get the Expo marker. And let's say you cannot check your phone to see if like they have new expo markers in stock or not. So you don't know if they have them. You're just going to go to Target, right? So a proactive strategy, because I'll just give you the good side of it first. A proactive strategy is being aware of the consequence that you could go to Target and there's not an expo marker there. There's no expo markers, they're out or whatever. That's a possibility. And if you're aware of that fact, you can now decide, okay, there's a chance I could go to this Target and there's no expo marker, right? So if there is no expo marker, I'll immediately go to Walmart, right? Or I'll immediately go to Staples or wherever else, right? You're like, okay, whatever's close by after, I'll go there after. Or you just go there and the marker's there, you buy the marker, everything is good. So by you stating this or making this plan or strategy, you have now created two pathways you can walk down that you're okay with. You could walk down the pathway where you have to evolve, essentially in the sense that you have to make a new decision or do something different because the expo marker potentially couldn't be there. Or you make the situation where the expo marker is there. You buy the expo marker and you go back home. So boom, you're proactive now. So now you're ready for whatever happens. Like if the marker is there, if the marker is not there, you accept either consequence because you know what to do. And you know there's a reality, you know in reality there's a chance that the marker's not there. But a reactive strategy is kind of you only betting on the fact that the marker is there. And you setting an expectation, a hard line expectation that the marker better be there because this is where I'm going to go get this marker. When in reality, you should know, that's probably, there's a chance that the marker's not going to be there. So let's say you get to the store, you go to the marker section, and let's say you're the proactive guy. You get to the marker section and you see that the markers are there. You're like, okay, boom, let me get my markers and leave. But if you had went there and looked and the markers weren't there, you're like, damn, okay, they're out of stock. Cool, I'm gonna go to Walmart. Boom, you instantly go back to your car, leave, go to Walmart. You go to Walmart and you're like, oh, look, the markers are not here either. Okay, boom, let me go to Staples. You go to Staples and the markers are there, or the expo marker is there. And then you buy the expo marker. Because even following your first strategy when you went to Target, you're like, okay, I could go to Walmart and it's not there either. Then I'll go to Staples. You see? And that's more of what success looks like. Shit's not going to work. Shit's not going to work. Shit's not going to work. Some shit works. But now you're not moving with frustration, complaints, and anger because you realize the fact in reality the marker you wanted could not be at some of these stores. So you were going to have to keep going until you found the marker you wanted. Now, let's say you're the reactive guy, right? You come to Target, you go look in the marker section, the marker is not there, or the expo markers are not there. Instead of just being like, all right, let me go to the next store, you're sitting there and you're mad. You're like, bro, what the fuck? They just said they just restocked. I could have sworn I saw the lady walking around getting ready to fill the marker boxes. Why are the markers not here? What the hell? Man, I'm just about to go home. Like, you start wasting so much time on unnecessary frustration because you weren't aware and you weren't willing to accept the chance that the markers weren't there. So now you just end up wasting time, essentially moving to your goals slower. Because let's say you have the proactive guy and the reactive guy. Who's going to get what they want sooner? Obviously the proactive guy, because he's already going to the other stores to get his marker while you're standing in place sitting there complaining about how the markers aren't here when you could just go somewhere else to find them. So you always want to be the proactive guy. You always want to be the guy who's evolving with the situation so you can get to your goals faster. Because I'm telling you guys right now, that wasted time complaining, getting angry, getting frustrated builds up over time. If you're just a proactive guy, you will achieve your goals much faster. And I know you guys are here because you want to become extremely successful. And the way you become extremely successful is by moving quicker so you can do more, achieve more, and have more. So getting into the mental exercise now, after explaining that, I hope that gave you guys good context. Basically, what you always want to do then is, marker. I even need a new marker, y'all. This is crazy. The marker is now dried. Here, I'll use a different marker. See? Marker didn't work. You just grab a different marker, right? So what you want to do is plan for error. See? For me just now, I was ready for my marker to not work, right? And see how I literally just showed you guys. I literally just showed you guys live what it means to be proactive. That was fucking crazy. You see what happens? I was testing the marker wasn't working. Instead of me getting mad or frustrated, I immediately evolved with the situation. I was proactive because I knew there was a chance that my marker couldn't work. So I grabbed one of my other markers. I just usually like using black or purple because that's usually the color scheme I like for like my channel. Anyway, point is, exactly, literally what just happened. I planned for error with the Expo marker just now. Literally, because now my black marker didn't work and I knew you guys weren't really going to be able to see what I was writing. So I quickly grabbed my other marker and started writing this to make sure you guys could see the mental exercises at the beginning of this. So yeah, I hope you guys just saw what just went on. Instead of me getting mad or complaining or being frustrated that my marker just stopped working, I immediately was proactive and just grabbed another marker and got right back to work. I really hope y'all just saw that because that's like a perfect example of what I'm talking about. If you master this skill, bro, you move so much faster. Anyway, getting back to the mental exercise. Now, that was so cool. What the hell? Anyway, so plan for error, just as I did. Plan for error. Whenever you make a strategy, whenever you make a plan, whenever you're trying to achieve your goals, be willing to understand that there's consequences. Things can go wrong. Things will not always go the way you want them to. You will make mistakes, right? And accept the reality where that occurs. Be willing to accept the reality where that occurs so you can be proactive, right? So once you plan for that error, and let's say error occurs, the next step of this would be move on. You just move on. Move to the next step. Evolve even. You can it just means evolve. Just evolve. I don't know if I spelled evolve right. Anyway, so you evolve with the situation. Instead of having to adapt to the situation because you were reactive, right? And adapting is harder because you complain, you get frustrated. You instead evolve with the situation. As the situation occurs because you are willing to accept and understand the fact that shit could go wrong, you evolve with the situation. You move on, you evolve, you change. In the same way that I just showed you guys just now, when my marker stopped working, I immediately just instead of complaining and getting frustrated and being reactive, I was proactive because I'm always aware of the fact that when I do anything, shit could not go the way I want it to go. Even if I'm confident and I want everything to go a certain way, shit could not go the way I want it to go. The marker just didn't work for me. I quickly grabbed another marker and started writing the mental exercise for you guys because I'm okay with the fact that shit can go wrong. So I just evolved. I grabbed my marker, wrote plan for error. I had planned for error. Telling you guys, I planned for error, I moved on, and I evolved. Now I'm using the red marker because my black Expo marker stopped working. So you see what I'm saying here? I really do hope this makes sense. But yeah, so that's essentially my proactivity or proactive mental exercise. Please let me know if this made sense and give me feedback on it. Let me know down in the comments if you're like, yeah, this was great, makes total sense. I like how you showed the example of what being proactive looks like live on accident to show you guys also that I practice what I preach. I'm not just telling you guys these things. I'm not just telling you guys these things and capping about it like, oh, do these things, but I don't do them. I really do these things because that's the only way I'd be able to know or try to tell you guys because I've done it. It works for me. So I would hope it works for you guys. So let me know down in the comments, did I explain this good enough? Does this make sense to you? Did this hit your brain neurons in ways that is going to help you really understand what I'm saying and be able to actionably apply this to your own life instead of being reactive to situations? You're proactive and you're really just ready for anything, which is always a confident and to me beneficial position to be in. Or you could say, this was horrible. You should have explained it way better, given better examples, said this, said that, whatever I needed to say to better help you on the other side of this camera understand this so you could use it and apply it to your own life and make sure you're getting to your goals in a manner in which you would want to. And if you liked it, please, please, please like this video, boost it in the algorithm so more guys can see this. Make sure that they're being the proactive guy rather than the reactive guy. They're the guy who's ready for anything, not the guy who wants everything to go exactly a certain way, which in reality, that's usually never going to be the case. So yeah, so I guess with that being said, I will catch you guys in the next Mental Gym video. Peace.